Hello, fellow business analysts in the United Kingdom. Today it gives me great pleasure to bring one of our gold mentoring program students. He's gone through the entire program in 2022. His name is Taku. We've got a pleasure of having him. Welcome, Taku.
Oh, hi, Mark. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. First time, but really happy to be here.
All right, brilliant. Hello, fellow business. I'm just watching it live, so I'm just muting it for that technical glitch. Let's get started. All right. We've got some slides. I promise you it's not going to be death by PowerPoint. So from stuck to soaring. So when I first met Taku, he was in a permanent job. He was permanently employed as a business analyst. And then he went through the BAM Gold mentoring program. And in that time, it's a 3 months mentoring program. And what we did is we took Taku out of a permanent job, a permanent position, and we then pivoted him into a contract role. That is what he wanted to do. He wanted to become a business analyst contractor and start earning some real money. So we put him through the program. It's 3 months. It was 58 lessons and assignments. Taku did really well, and we're very pleased to have him on the LinkedIn Live event. I go every month. I go live on LinkedIn. I'm going to try and do it twice from now on. I'm going to go live in the middle of the month and then at the end of the month. So in the middle of the month, we're going to bring on a special guest. So in November I had Howard Locke, in December I had Craig Proudfoot, and in February I had Ananya from and Alan Mishra from Adaptive, and we've been heavily developing our new back office, our new mentoring program, our new website and things like that. So we are now full steam ahead, going to go twice a month on these LinkedIn Live events. So we've had Tandu Jacobs before, one of our gold mentoring students who also finished the program, and today we've got Taku. We're going to ask him a few questions, and then please stay until the end so you can ask him questions as well. Once you've asked him questions, I can show the question on the screen. As soon as I can get that somewhere, there's one. Comments. There we go. Hello, everybody. So as you can see, we can see your comments. So it's very nice. And then good to hear you guys. Hello, everybody. Great. So as you've got a question, it's first come, first serve. So if you've got a question, type it in the comments. I will see it and we'll ask Taku them one by one at the end of the call. We're going to stop spot on at 1 o'clock with the with this LinkedIn Live event, and then you've got some time to answer question. If you're not able to watch it live, you can watch the recording. You can watch a replay with the same LinkedIn URL, and then you can still type comments. You can still ask questions. I will go through the questions and I will answer them as best as possible. If the questions are for Taku, because he's been invited as an esteemed guest, as a speaker on our channel, then you can ask him questions and he can answer them too. If he doesn't answer them, I will get one of my back office staff to contact him and say, please Taku, there's a question waiting for you, please go and answer. So even if you're watching the recording, please, you are welcome to still carry on and continue and asking us questions. All right, so let's start with a testimonial video that Taku gave when he finished the course. So after everybody finished the course, then I give them the opportunity to give a little testimonial video. And I'm going to now bring that up on the screen, and we're going to see what he thought of the mentoring program when he was finished with it. Okay, let's have a look, see if we can find it.
So initially, to be honest with you, I was quite nervous, because I was venturing into the unknown, should I say. But I did trust the process, and you inspired that confidence in me into trusting the process and seeing it through. So initially, yeah, quite nervous, but after that, I was feeling very confident. So what I would say, Mark, I would actually say that you over-delivered. So as per my goals that we clearly went through during my initial discovery call, so you tick them off, and now I'm actually on this next stage to meeting my other goals. So there is an assignment called Several Levels Deep, which goes through, so it's like an onion, isn't it? You're peeling an onion, you're going deeper into your goals, into why you're doing this. So for me, I found that really useful, because it actually went down into why I'm doing this in the first place, into why I want to move from permanent and into contracting. And as a result, when the process got quite challenging, as you'd expect from something that's quite worthwhile, I really stuck to the process because I knew what was my why based on this 7 levels deep assignment. Because I was fully committed to the process, again, going back to trusting the process. So I actually ended up applying 100 jobs a week. So in total, just shy of 200, so around 180 to 200. And it took me 30 minutes a day, which was roughly like 3 hours a week. So all in all, 6 hours a week. No, sorry, 6 hours over those 2 weeks. One aspect where I would say you added a lot of value is in terms of the interviews. So permanent based interviews and contracting interviews, completely different kettle of fish. And that's something that I soon discovered. So as part of my preparation, we went through my stars, we went through the techniques. We even had a preparation interview where you were fully professional in the way that you interviewed. So that was really useful when it came to actually doing my interviews with clients. And as a result, that led to me being very successful at the interviews that I had. In terms of the interviews that I got, I had 5 different interviews from different companies within both public sector and private sector. So great companies. And in terms of the offers, I had 3 offers. So 5 interviews and 3 offers. And that's all from the confidence that I was given by your advice and assistance throughout the rest of the mentoring. So yeah, it feels good, and I don't think words can fully describe the feeling. So I think what I would say again to any future mentees, so when you get to that point, it's almost like you know it's going to happen because you've trusted through the process. So because you've installed that confidence in myself, I fully believed that at that point that would happen. So when I made that goal, I was really delighted, and that gave me the confidence to meet the next set of goals as well. And so that, yes, that's what I would say in terms of how I feel. Before doing this, I don't think I would have ever got myself a mentor. That's what I've been telling other prospective mentees as well. I don't think I would have ever got myself a mentor. And obviously the prize at that time, you know, before understanding what you had to offer, I was like, oh, that's potentially a steep price. But as I went through the actual program, what I can say, I don't think money can fulfill what you're giving. I think it's, yeah, I can, you're over delivering. Yeah, definitely, I'll say that you provide more value than the amount that I've paid for. And it's very rare for someone to feel like they've paid for something less than they're receiving. And that's definitely how I felt within your service. So in terms of negotiations, that's not something that I've done before in my working experience, whether that would be IT or in my previous roles. So this was actually my first time learning how to negotiate and also building that confidence, and also is that a soft skill as well on how to negotiate as well. So that's something that I definitely learned from yourself, and that's something that I'll be using as part of my career moving forward in other contracts as well. I can't express that enough. 100% I would recommend. Like I said, I do believe that you just give value. You're all about giving, giving, giving. And not only are you also focusing on the business analyst aspect of it, you're also adding a lot of value when it comes to the mindset, which is something that's very difficult to attain. And what I would also say to prospective mentees is to trust in the process. So it takes two to tango. You can add a lot of value, but you also need to trust in the process. So I 100% recommend.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Sorry about the technical glitch there in the beginning. That's the first time I'm actually playing a video while on LinkedIn Live. So now I've just got to make sure that I can go back to that screen that I was with where the slides are, and hey presto, there we are, back to that. So just to let you in on something, that when I mentored Taku, he actually had a 3 months probation period. Now, you know, if you're going into an interview and they say, well, you've got the job, when can you start? And you say, well, I can start in 3 months' time. That's not going to be very good. So that is an obstacle that we had to overcome. But I'll let Taku talk about that when we get there. All right. So moving forward, let's go through the discussion points that we want to chat with Taku about, and then I'll give him the opportunity to do some speaking, and we can see on him. So firstly, what did your career look like before joining the Gold Mentoring Program, Taku?
So first of all, Mark, yeah, thanks. And yeah, it was a bit weird looking back at the video. It brought a lot of memories. So that's all good. So as we've just seen in the video, so before I was in a permanent role, so a fixed term contracts. So I've always been working in fixed term contracts. I knew where I wanted to get to, but I had no idea on how to get there. So that was my biggest challenge. So I was in a business analyst role, doing the same thing more or less, had good colleagues around me, but I just knew where I wanted to get to, but no idea how to get there.
So that's what we do. We show you the step-by-step process, correct? And then you just follow the step-by-step process in the mentoring program. And then how did you transition mentally after just 2 weeks into the program, knowing that you had this this thing hanging over your head with your 3 months notification period?
Yeah, so for me, that was really difficult. And the reason why it was difficult, again, it goes back to trusting the process. Because I knew that I had the 3 notice periods that I need to give. But then I also had a goal that I wanted to obtain. But it was almost like, how do I get there? But I don't have the confidence to leave where I'm comfortable, where I've got good colleagues, everything's happy, but it's not where I want to get to. So how do I get there? So mentally, it was I was a bit lost. Yeah, again, going back to lack of confidence.
That is one thing that we focus quite a bit on during the mentoring program, taking you from, lack of confidence and to confident or extremely confident, all the way to be seen as the person of authority. So lack of confidence could be a lot of things, right, Taku? It could be that you're lacking in confidence to develop a powerful CV on an ATS compliant template that promotes you accordingly. It could be a lack of confidence in your ability to create, a fantastic LinkedIn profile that you headhunted consistently for the rest of your career. It could be that you're lacking in confidence to find suitable business analyst contract roles outside of our. We've got 17 techniques for that. It could be that you're lacking in confidence in your ability to apply for those jobs and secure an interview. We've got 4 methods in which we use to apply for jobs. It could be that you're perhaps lacking in confidence on preparing yourself to the best of your ability to ace the interview. It could be a lack of confidence to be able to successfully negotiate the employment offer that they give you if you're successful in your interview. It could be perhaps your lack of confidence to answer questions in the interview when you don't have skills that are listed in the job description. It could perhaps be lack of confidence that when you secure your role, to get through that probation period, or if it's your contract, to get through the first 2 or 3 weeks in your contract so that they don't let you go. It could be perhaps lacking in confidence to collaborate successfully and effectively with stakeholders, customers, vendors. There's a lot of things that you can, lack confidence in. And it's a different thing working in person when you're actually in a room with the person and you can shake their hand, you can elicit the requirements from them, compared to if you have to use Teams and you've never used Teams, or Zoom and you've never used Zoom, to be able to remotely collaborate with stakeholders, to elicit these requirements. There's so many things that you could lack confidence in, and that comes across. The person that you're collaborating with, they will notice that and they won't treat you as a person of authority. But I can see that you're in confidence right now. So we definitely got that one nailed. All right, moving on. Thank you very much for that.
Sorry, Mark, just to touch up on the previous point.
Did you want to mention something? Yes, please.
Yeah, I wanted to also say that you could have the confidence in what you do in your role. Again, like what you said. But then, so for me, I knew what I was doing, good experience as a BA, but then looking for certain roles, contracting roles, or how to go on about it, it's a whole different ballgame. That's a whole different skill set. So that's, again, going back to what you're saying, where a lot of us lack that confidence in.
Sure. So you can get hard skills and you can get soft skills. So the soft skills are more around, communication and things like that. And the hard skills are more like knowing the theoretical knowledge that the business analyst should know. And ideally, I urge people. So we have a free 30-minute career strategy session. As you know, you did yours as well. I look at where you are now, your as is, your current state. I look at your CV, your LinkedIn profile, and I ask you a whole bunch of questions. And then we determine the options, possible options of your future, your 1-year career goal. What does that look like? And then I do a gap analysis and I see what you're missing to be able to get you there. And if you want to become a certified senior business analyst contractor earning £850 a day, like yourself, then you need to actually have that theoretical knowledge. So if you can't showcase that you've got this, either the IIBA CBAP or you've got your BCS International Diploma in Business Analysis, that proves that you've got the theoretical knowledge, you know what to do, why you do it, how you do it, the tools, the techniques, the strategies, the templates. You need to learn that so you can do the job as a business analyst with confidence. If you don't have that theoretical knowledge, the hiring manager, the recruitment agent, or the interviewers, they're always going to wonder, where did you learn to do what a business analyst does? And you could only have learned on one place, and that's hand-me-down knowledge, on-the-job training. And then we're always going to wonder, well, that person that you learned from, where did they learn business analysis? Maybe also hand-me-down knowledge. Maybe it was also, maybe it's dated information. I mean, I did my BCS diploma in 2015, 2016. That knowledge is 10 years old. The BCS updates the curriculum every 2 years. I mean, we got a whole big shift towards fourth industrial revolution with artificial intelligence and machine learning and robotic process automation and, all this chat GPT. I'm far behind the curve, and business analysts need to stay up to date so that that's what gives you the confidence. A lot of people say in their career strategy session with me that they've got imposter syndrome. I'm like, no, you don't have imposter syndrome. You don't know what you're doing. You need to go and learn the theory and get some practical experience over a few years, and then you'll have confidence and get rid of that imposter syndrome. Wouldn't you agree, Taku?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, agreed.
Okay. Good. Right. Let's move on to the next slide. So what changed? So now that you finished the program after 3 months, tell me what changed right away.
Oh, so that's a good question. So for me, what changed? The biggest thing, which again, someone new coming to this wouldn't think would be the mindset. So for me, again, it was the mindset change. Understanding why are you doing this? What's your goal? What's the reason behind your goal? Then going through all the limiting self-beliefs. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Which could be a lot of different things, and some of them are not even work-related. That could be family-related. That could be your environment. That could be a lot of things. So again, it's more than just business analysis. It's the mindset. So for me, those 3 months, I think it was the mindset shift. Once the mindset shift was there, I could then move on to actually reach my goal, which was to then apply for those contracting jobs.
Yes, the mindset is a whole thing, because I promised to double your salary in 90 days in this program, and then some people think, well, I'm on £50,000 per annum. It's £200 a day, because it's 250 days a year, and now you're on 200, and I'm promising to get you 400, and it's outside IR35, and 400 is the base, so anything 400 plus outside IR35. So now you're going to be banking almost triple the amount that you got, and then you might think to yourself, you might have some self-doubt. Am I actually worth all this money? And then that imposter syndrome creeps back in. That's why we need to, with these 8 mindset assignments that you completed in pillar 1 of the 4 pillars, it just gives you that, just that positive can-do attitude, basically. And then after that, we did your unique selling proposition to show your worth, your current state. What do you have to offer a potential customer? And I won't take on any students. So we've had 111 enrolled since August 2021 when we launched Gold. We can only take 5 at a time, and it's a 3-month course. Because that's all the bandwidth that I've got. I spend 80% of my time helping my Gold masterminds, but you want to do the program, you want to have a positive mindset, you need to know what your worth is, and I won't take you on as a student if I can see, I'm going to struggle to get you over the finish line and to secure you that high-paying contract role. So you need to know that you're actually worth that amount of money, when you're invoicing the client, and you don't feel, oh, I haven't really earned this money. And that's a big shift, as you mentioned, with the mindset. You need to get that mindset that a company will be fortunate to employ you and have you and your services. And for you, Taku, that's what I like you on this LinkedIn Live event. You're still very young. So when you're 26, 27, 28, and you're thinking, am I worth £850 a day? You're going to be like, no, I can't, definitely not, type of thing, right? So it is that shift. Now, I just want to talk about the question. The question is, what changed after the 3 months? So now you've finished the program and you're interviewing and you secured that first contract role. What changed after you secured that contract role and you were busy working? You resigned from that role and you pivoted into your contract. Tell us a little bit about the first few weeks in your first contract role as a contractor. Was that quite scary and daunting?
Yeah, so two key things changed. So I'll start with the first one. I'll say some balloons. Nice. But
I also saw some balloons.
It's a celebration, yeah. But the first thing that changed, I'll say, so imagine yourself, right? You've gone literally previous week, you're in a role where you're speaking to your management about advancing your career into a senior BA, career path, all that good stuff, right? But then going through that mindset shift, you already believe that you're already there. Now you step into the new role and everyone is seeing you as this new voice of authority. You're there training other BAs that were in your position a week before, for example, So it can be, so that's a massive shift, even in mindset. Going back to the mindset thing, you're literally coming from where you're mid-level BA to all of a sudden you're a senior BA. But again, in your head, but if you were to reflect, you were already a senior BA anyways, based on that perception that we're talking about. So I think that was the biggest mindset shift, going from a PEMI role to a contract role where you've got a lot of authority and influence. And then the second mindset, the second shift was the freedom and the financial freedom that I tend to find that contracting gives you. So, for example, right now I'm blessed to be a dad of a 1-year-old, and because of contracting, I've got more time to spend time with my daughter, because there's more flexibility in the holidays that you take as opposed to if you were permanent. And then on the other hand, with more financial availability, should I say, you've got more options. You can take your family to do more things. You can meet your own personal goals as well outside of work that you've always wanted to tick off. So for me, those were the two key things: the change in role and authority, and all that good stuff, and also the freedom around the change as well.
Yes, fantastic. So basically, this is what you need to think of it. When you go into a new role, nobody knows you. They don't know your bad habits. They don't know your quirks. They don't know anything about you. Maybe you've still got some imposter syndrome that you're suppressing, right? But then you can start in a new leaf. So every time you join another contract, 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, or if you get an extension, maybe 1 year, 1 year. But every time you start on a fresh, clean slate, and they don't know you, and you just need to hold your head up high and show that you're the authority by knowing what you're doing. And also you need to lend yourself to mentoring others, to opening up, to helping, perhaps onboarding somebody. Be the go-to person. Let them come to you and ask you questions. Have an open door policy. Be a good listener. Peer review their work before they submit it. Things like that. That's how you grow your network, and that's actually how you pivot from becoming from being a junior BA to a BA to a senior BA. And what is a lead BA? A lead BA, manages other BAs. So you're actually pivoting into that lead BA role by, helping other business analysts in the organization. So that's really well done. As far as goes with your wife and your daughter, congratulations on getting married and having your daughter since you finished the course. Big changes now that you can afford it and all that. But yes, it's a big lifestyle change to pivot from permanent into contract, because basically now you're not working fully remote, but you're hybrid, and maybe only 1 or 2 days in a month that you need to go into the office. So you've got that lifestyle where you can have your daughter on your lap, and you can work flexi time, and you can work after hours and be there for your wife and family when they need you. It is a big lifestyle change, pivoting from perm to contract. Okay, we need to move on to the next one. So let's go through onto the next question. So our gold masterminds are our VIPs. So the gold, the bronze and silver, just regular masterminds, but the gold ones are the VIPs. And then you and I connected, with everybody I connect on WhatsApp, but some people I connect on Facebook as well. Now, I've given you a lot of support over the last 3 years on WhatsApp and things like that. Talk to us a little bit about the support I've given you over the last 3+ years.
So in terms of support, one thing I like about you, Mark, one of those people, you provide a service and the next thing you disappear. So now, even after all those years that we finished the gold mentoring, you're still there. If I've got any questions, let's say, oh, Mark, I'm applying for this other role now. I need potential advice on this. That could be negotiations, for example. I know that you're available to assist with that. And you also know the journey that I've taken from A to B. So you're in the best position to advise me for the next steps. And then it could be even simpler things like, what tool do I use to create this branding piece of thing? You've got connections, you're all connected. If you don't know it yourself, someone that would do that, and you help in those ways as well. So that's just some of the few bits that developed even after that gold mentoring program.
Sure. So I've got, we at BA Masterminds, there's 5 of us, but we've got strategic alliance partners with authorized training providers and people that are in the know. And as you know, with Gold, you get a 4-hour turnaround answer to any question that you have. You deal with me, you don't deal with the back office staff. And the thing is, if you want to reach, so the program is fully inclusive. There's a price, but you never ever pay any money on top of that. Once you're a customer for life. So you reach out to me as a contractor or a business analyst in a perm role. You don't want to go to your line manager or a lead BA or the project manager and say, how do I do this? Do you have this? No, you don't want to sound needy. You want to know what you're doing. So then you reach to me. I'm the go-to person for anything. And if I don't know the answer, I will get you the answer. So it's, but I'm not there for everybody all the time. It's only the people that reach out to me. So I'm not proactive. Going back to the 111, so out of the 111, 7, so 104 are still busy. 104 have completed the course. I'm not going to afterwards go and reach out to these 104 people because that's a bit spammy. That's a bit, we don't do that. But if you come to me, I'm always available. Weekends, 24/7. Okay, we need to get on to the next question. So let's have a look here. So now now you've finished the course. And then after you finish the course, you're in your contract role for 6 months. What was that like? Your first 6 months in your contracting role?
From my experience, it was not as scary or as bad as I thought it was gonna be. And I think before I was like, oh, it's this big thing. I'm gonna again go back to that whole imposter syndrome. But it was actually the opposite to that. And the reason why it was the opposite to that is because I'd done a lot of preparation prior to me starting. So for instance, in my first contract, I'd this spreadsheet. I don't know if you remember, Mark, this spreadsheet that details your tasks that you're doing on a weekly basis. So I would always...
The roles and responsibilities and 30, 60, 90-day action plan.
Yes, that's the one. And I'm still using it up to this day, actually.
Wow.
So what you do with this I had all my tasks that I'm doing, all the deadlines, all the the projects, all the timelines, all the good stuff in there. And then every time I deliver something or I'm working to deliver on something, I would liaise with my client. Then we'll actually sit down and say, this is what I'm doing, this is what I've ticked off. And the way it came across, they were all impressed because it came across as a professional. So rather and that's very proactive. So me using that is just one of the ways that made my first 6 months so much easier, because it came across as I knew what I was doing, and as again voice of authority, and you actually help set up systems in the existing members and BAs. So in that sense, it was actually went well. The 6 months went really well.
Okay, I'm going to try and play a video now from Taku's wife, Mitch, and I'm going to see if it works, because it didn't work last time. So I need to click something quickly to see if I can get this working. Let's just see how I can get this going, right? Are you happy with the progress that Taku has made since before he met me until today?
Yeah, no, definitely. One of the things I told Taku about is that investing in your coaching has been the best thing he's done, especially with his confidence. He's just believes in himself so much. I think he had the skills, but he didn't have the mindset. So yeah, thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. And I promised him that I would double his salary. Were you a little bit nervous when he resigned before he actually even secured an interview?
I feel like when he decided to resign, he was so confident, and I felt like that he passed that on to me. That I just knew he was going to be fine. I wasn't worried at all. So.
And now that I've fulfilled my promise, and I promised to double his salary, and he went from 200 to 400 pounds a day, is he going to take you somewhere nice as a reward?
Well,
it's not part of the goals. No.
Okay, wonderful. That was a bit a bit of fun over there that we had with that one. Okay, moving on to the next question. I've just got to do present, share screen, and do this one and say share. Okay. We should be in there. So let's carry on with the discussion points. Let's go for the next question here. Where are you today, and what goals are you smashing next?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question, man. So currently, I'm in my contracts that I'm working with my clients through my limited company. And as part of that, from a career side of things, I'm really keen in moving into data, into cloud data. So I'm working towards my qualifications in Azure. So I do believe data is where things are moving, and I'm really passionate about that. And I've done some of that as part of my role. So that's one of my goals. And then my second goal, as Mark, you would know, me and my partners, we've started an IT consultancy called Accelix, which you can see right behind you. There we go, next to bump. Yeah, there you go. So Accelix, what we do, we help companies leverage their Azure solutions into the cloud. So that could be, migrating to the cloud, or just streamlining all their workflows into the cloud. And that's helping them, or doing it for them, or just give them advice on how to do it the best possible. So that's something that I'm really enjoying, learning a lot as well, because with that comes a lot of new skills that I did not have, that I'm learning, such as networking or sales, marketing, branding. So yeah, so that's one of my key goals for 2025.
Brilliant, wonderful. It sounds exciting. I'm looking forward to following you on that journey. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your personal life. You did touch on that, but how did the results of the Gold Mentoring Program affect your personal life?
Yeah, so I think if I start with directly impact on myself, it shows me that you can achieve what you set yourself up to if you trust in the process. Especially when you don't know, you can't see it, but you just trust in the process. So for me, that was one of the biggest impacts, because now I can apply that to other areas in life. So let's say I want to, I don't know, learn a new skill. That could be a music, for example, an instrument. I know that if I trust in the process, that will work based on what we did together, Matt. And then in other aspects, it goes back to that point. For example, I've always wanted to go to where my wife is from, which is Ecuador, South America. And now I'm in the position to do that, and we've done that. So that's a big life goal that would be great. And I'm also from Zimbabwe, and this goal has enabled me to show my wife Michelle my other side, you know, where I'm from as well. So there's things like that. You know, it's impacted my life in such a positive way.
Wonderful. So basically now, instead of just focusing the whole time on your career, now you reaping the rewards from the hard work and the efforts that you put into your career, and now you'll be able to have a really good life. Yeah, and that's what it's all about. Life is not about work. Okay, so you did touch on your new company, Accelix. I had you and your siblings, Valerie and 𝐁𝐳𝐬𝐬, on a call with Petro. I think it was on Tuesday, 2 days ago, and we went on and we free of charge again. Like I said, I don't recharge my clients, but I gave you a lot of branding examples and go-to-market strategies and paid versus organic traffic and all these 7-4-11 codes and things like that. Tell us a little bit about, because we're really interested to know now about this data company, about the Azure cloud that you're doing with your family and one other person. There's 4 of you in your registered limited company on Companies House in the UK. Tell us a little bit about that and the future, and where do you see that going?
Yes, so me personally, I'm a believer of, you know, it's good to create something that's bigger than just yourself, if that makes sense. So, for example, my brother, 𝐁𝐬𝐧, he's a DevOps engineer, and he's also got contracting experience. And he's also got his good friend, slash mentor, Jude, who you can also find on LinkedIn. Very good DevOps engineers, very technical. These very technical guys, you know, highly skilled. They know their stuff. And then you've got myself with very strong business analysis, project management skills, and some awareness of the technical environment, the data side of things. And on the other hand, you've got my younger sister, Valerie. She's got her own sales, marketing, digital consultancy. So she's very good at all this sales, marketing stuff. So rather than us just doing our own thing, it's good to, you know, leverage your network and people around you. And then we've come together and then created this project / company IT consultancy, Accelix, where we're providing again Azure solutions to different businesses and helping them streamline their workflows and migration to the cloud. So that's so still learning the best that we can. And you know, Mark, as you've alluded, you've helped us as well. And if you, I don't know if there's any guys, if you guys in the chat can see this beautiful backgrounds and the similarities to the BAM one as well. So yeah, that was again Max help on that one.
Excellent. Yes, I'm really looking forward to how your company's going to progress. You've just incorporated the company recently, so it is in the beginning. We're going to watch this with with envy. And are you going to also upskill and get Azure certification? And if so, what part of Azure are you going to be focusing on? Because you know, you get different parts. So you get the data. So basically you're going from on-prem with perhaps co-location, you know, into the cloud. And you've chosen Azure ahead of Amazon Web Servers and Microsoft Dynamics and the other cloud technologies out there. So you've gone for Azure, perhaps because June and 𝐁𝐬𝐬𝐬 are really certified and highly technical in that, but there's quite a lot of different aspects to it. So firstly, you're going to move data from the existing on-prem server. So you're going to extract the data, clean it up, tidy it up, validate it. That's one part. Then the other part is to actually move, set up the Azure in the cloud and then move the data across. And the other one is then to administer it as well. So it's like an administering function where you've got users on a computer with login IDs and you're going to grant them access and things like that. There's different aspects to this business that you're partaking in. Where do you see yourself fitting into this business?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, Mark. So from my point, again, this is where the business analysis skills come in terms of gathering requirements and also the project management as well, which are skills that you can use in different subject matter. But going back to the good question that you brought, it's also very important to have an understanding of what you're managing or what you're analyzing or what requirements that you're covering. So I've got my qualification in Azure Fundamentals and Azure Data Fundamentals, but I really want to go down that pathway of data because that's something that I've worked with in the past, but I haven't got any qualifications, and I'm very passionate when it comes to data as well. So yes, so in terms of qualifications, data, and I highly recommend for other people that are watching this to enlist. It could be Amazon Web Services that you're working with, Google Cloud or Azure, for example, but I highly recommend at least getting the fundamentals of how cloud works, because that will also open a lot of opportunities.
Great, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, let's have a look. I think we've got 2 more questions left. What does the future have in store for you? And now we're talking more like 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years down the line. What about more kids? What about a house? Where are you going to travel to next?
Oh, yeah, the future. Oh, yeah, how far is the future? So with the future, I think for now, the key focus is on those goals. And again, going back to my little princess, the little one. One of my personal goals, I wanted to see where her roots are from, So go to Zimbabwe. Hopefully next year you can see, the motherland, or go back to Ecuador as well. She see the other side of the roots. So that's one of my key goals in the future, in the near future.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. Okay, let's have a look here. The last question. Would you recommend the Gold Mentoring program to other aspiring business analysts or business analysts, and why?
Yeah, so again, Mark, I think in short, highly recommend. So I've had quite a few people that come to on LinkedIn. Oh, so Taku, I've seen this, would you recommend? I'll say 100% do it. But if you're going to do it, this is the caveat. If you're going to do it, you also need to trust the process. Because I think it's easy to, if you can afford it, to pay but not get the results that you want because you did not put your part as well. So I think if you do it, but if you're to do it, trust the process and just go 100% in. So yes, I recommend.
Okay, wonderful. So that sounds good. Yes, it is a bit of a process, and it is a bit of a daunting process sometimes. But like you did, on your second session out of 13 live mentoring sessions, you had to resign, and like you said, you trusted the process. So that is, that's a bit tough sometimes for people to say, I really trust the process. If you don't mind, I'm just going to quickly show everybody Taku's LinkedIn profile so that you know how to get hold of him, reach out, send him a connection request. You can see that we've got 1,177 mutual connections. That is fantastic. You've got a lot of followers. That's really good. Taku's up in Milton Keynes. And, this is the way you fill in your LinkedIn profile. Make it stand out from the crowd. Don't just go for the black and white. Put some bolds in there. Put some nice bullet points and things like that. We also like to work a lot with color. So if you have a look how he's done his LinkedIn profile, orange for the current role, blue for all the past roles, current, everything like that. All standing out, nice, lots of color, lots of standing out, bullet points, summaries of what he did, achievements that he had, really detailed LinkedIn profile, one of the better LinkedIn profiles of one of my students. His education is all listed here as well. See how highly educated and very intelligent Taku is as well. University, Manchester. He's got his bachelor's degree, even proof that he's got it over there. All his modeling business pro, all his 4 certificates towards his diploma, all these things. I am looking out for Azure. You still need to go and upload them. That's certificates. That's not under education, right? That's under certificates. So let's have a look here. There we go. So September, you did your fundamentals. In 2023, you already started. Okay, so you've been following your brother's advice and also going for the Azure path. Nothing wrong with that. Really good idea. So that's really good. And with that, it brings us to the end of the 45 minutes. Taku, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you. I want to ask if anybody's got any questions that they'd like to Taku. Now is the time to type them in the comments. I can share the comments. We can give Taku some time to answer them. But as I mentioned before, if you're not watching this live, if you're watching the recording, and we know most people do watch the recording, then you're welcome to type some questions in the comment section as well. We'll forward them on to Taku. We'll make sure that him and we answer those questions. And it's been an absolute pleasure. If there's anything else I can help you with in the future, then you know where to reach out to me. And thank you, Taku, for joining us. Maybe some final words in closing.
I just want to say again, Mark, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me to this. First time doing something like this. So excited, nervous/excited. But thank you for having me.
Good. It's all about practice. So, you want to go and go to conferences like I do all over the world and virtual conferences. It's all about practice. And I think you got some good practice in today.